By now, you're probably very familiar with Phosphoru. Phosphoru has given us video after video after video of crazy strategies, crazy games that have produced some excellent entertainment over the past year. And it is to the point now where people expect this craziness from him. Well, today, this changes, my friends. Welcome to this game. You'll notice the name at the top left of the scoreboard here is not Phosphoru. And so it's time to clear the air, time to talk about this a little bit. So I noticed when Phosphoru sent me a game like 6 months ago that it had a slightly different spelling of his name than one of the other times he had sent me a recorded game and one of the times I had played them, which led to me stumbling upon the fact that he has a second account. Now, Phosphoru and I talked about this. He told me this situation and exactly why he's done this, which we'll talk about more in the video. But basically, because every time someone would see it was Phosphoru and everyone would see his civilizations, Phosphoru now, on occasion, it would just change his name. In fact, this game was 4 weeks ago and the name was different than what this is. And it can lead to some very interesting situations. Now, the reason this is interesting, as we have Phosphoru here, a player in focus, playing as the Byzantines here in the red. He's up against my buddy Ozone here as the Vikings. The reason it's interesting is not just because of the name change, but because it allows Phosphoru to have the element of surprise with the civilization as well, okay? Now, some of the best strategies that Phosphoru goes for with these fast castles, I've already shown you. The Sicilians, the Bengalis, we've even seen like the Ethiopians, the Celts, the Burmese. I mean, the list is rather long, actually, which just tells you how creative he is. But never has it been the Byzantines, right? And so think about it from a player's perspective, right? Let's say you're Ozone, all right? So Ozone normally is around 2,300. It sometimes is 2,400. When you're at that level, the majority of the players you're running into are 21 or 2,200 and up, and you face them maybe 50 times if you played a lot, right? Which all high-level players have. So you have players you recognize who are clearly just going to play the meta. And then occasionally, you will get people you haven't heard of. Occasionally, around the 1,900 or 2K level. So if you queue up for like 6 minutes or 7 minutes, that's where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get like a lower rated opponent. So for example, I'm like 2,350. I got a 1,950 elo opponent last night after a 6.5 minute queue, right? And I didn't recognize the name. And that's kind of just how it works. Now, if my opponent force picks Civilization and I don't recognize the name, then I get suspicious, right? Like if some random account just around the 2K level is picking Bengalis or Burmese or Sicilians, I'm immediately asking, Phosphoru, right? That wasn't the case on this day. So from Ozone's perspective, this is a player who, is brand new to him, right? Now, what makes this so funny, right, is I was watching Ozone's stream, okay? And so as a viewer of his stream at that in that moment, I see this guy's Byzantines, right? This red guy. And then I noticed that he's from the United States and just over 2K. There's like a little app that will tell you the rating of everyone, and like whatever. And I'm like, an American over 2K I haven't heard of before? That's very weird. And on the day in question, his name has since changed. He actually had a clan tag too, which I think is normally associated with people from like Colombia or something. So I was like, this is weird to me. But I was just like, okay, maybe there's just some random US guy. Maybe he's got a VPN. I don't know. But then I got to watch what Ozone saw or what Ozone didn't see, and things get interesting. So this is the first time that I've really like shown a game where the opponent didn't really know what to expect at least like recently. And I want to show you, like, from what Ozone has seen 5 villagers on wood. That's fairly standard for this point. He's seen 4 or 5 villagers on berries. That's fairly normal. 6 is a bit much, but it's not like that big a tell. As far as Ozone's aware, and I remember him, he was just like, who is this guy? Okay, he's a couple hundred elo ahead. He thinks he's going to be in a good spot. As far as, Ozone can tell, he's just out here to stomp some guy he hasn't seen before. There's some nifty things happening here. Phosphoru is going to collect some stone here, guys, with 3 villagers. Very well thought out aspect to this. And Ozone's still kind of looking around. At this point, you're looking to see where's your opponent's barracks. Ozone made his, and he's making military now. Ozone looking around, but also lurking around because he's going to want to kill these villagers. Now, there's a very important part of this game and how I knew it was Phosphoru immediately. I had my suspicions based on the rating, based on, what I knew about Phosphoru. Okay, so they're both in feudal now. Now, I need to pause, okay? So, again, typically, you're looking for a barracks or an archery range, right? And it's going to be in the front of someone's base. If they're not doing it, something funky is happening. But Byzantines can sometimes, they are known for going forward and building forward buildings. So that kind of makes this fun, right? In terms of what Ozone is looking for. Sorry, I just feel like I have a lot to say about this matter. Phosphoru, obviously he's gonna idle here. He stops producing villas at 19. He's up at the same time, so he's in feudal age at the same time as Ozone, which would make Ozone think this is a normal strategy. And Phosphoru did not pre-wall anything, did end up seeing these units coming from a mile away. And okay, there's a very important aspect to this, and this is how I immediately recognized was Phosphoru, and it's this. Listen, if you've done your homework, if you know Phosphoru, you know he doesn't leave his freaking base with his scout until he's in feudal, and he just hit feudal, right? So all the other factors I mentioned, maybe were some clues. Maybe some of the things Ozone will see are some clues of who this is. This told me this is freaking Phosphoru. He never leaves his base. Anyways, I told Ozone later that I knew it was Phosphoru. I had my suspicions because of the account. The over 2K from the US. And then I knew it was him when I saw the scout just sitting there. So, and he's going to chill. Meanwhile, Ozone creating villagers. Imagine that. Like, still creating vills. He is... I could just tell you after watching his stream, like, starts to get a little suspicious that maybe he's going to be the forward base, like spears and skirms. But, like, this is just such good damage. You're never going to leave this position. Ozone's going to be very happy with that. And there goes Phosphoru's scout. Now, Ozone knew Phosphoru. I uploaded a video where they played each other a couple months ago, or within the last couple months. I don't have it memorized at this point. So it's not like he doesn't know the strats. But the thing is, you don't expect any crazy shenanigans from Byzantines. And in the north of the map, we have 2 villagers, and they are wandering. They are wandering off into the distance, and they are wondering how much entertainment they're going to give you, dear viewer. And they seem prepared. They found some wild horses, which they cannot ride. They have jobs to do. And meanwhile, Ozone is just trying to kill stuff. Now, earlier in the game, when Red... grabbed some stone. That was so he could sell 100 stone. Look at the left side. And still have enough stone for a tower. Knowing that archers are going to come. And he needs to defend. Really smart thinking. Phosphoru found his opponent's base. Scout is being attacked right now. Be very sloppy to lose the scout. Able to get away. And I remember watching Ozone's stream. And he's just like, what is he doing? What is this guy doing? And then he sees Castle Age at 13 minutes and he's like, huh? And like all of Phosphoru's eco is right in this little itty bitty area, all pretty much protected by the tower. And you're probably wondering this whole time, what is Phosphoru going to do with Byzantines? And he's going double siege workshop. Now, Byzantines don't have any siege bonuses, but when you go random civ, there's only so many things you could do. I feel like you could go for the siege play. You could go for maybe some monks. But anyways, Ozone at this point is like, I gotta be certain that he's not at my base here. This is awfully silent. All I see is this. And he's going to start dropping some outposts. And he is going to see these 2 siege workshops. Now, this is a pretty big deal what we're looking at right here. The tower does protect lumberjacks and gold miners, but what the tower does not actually protect is the market. And we all know the market is one of the most important things for Phosphoru. And the market is actually a big part of this wall. And so Ozone is immediately in panic mode. And I think the correct decision against strategies like this, guys, the correct decision is to stay in feudal. Spending 1,000 resources to go up to the next stage when that takes you so long, that could be pretty risky at times. And it's not like Ozone really has the best of eco balances at the moment. So here we go. It's a Scorpion rush from Phosphoru. Ozone didn't know it was him. Well, until later, actually. I think he thought it was maybe like an imposter, like someone who was practicing the same strats. But, you know, he didn't know what type of game it was going to be initially. Let's just put it that way. He knows now. Now, again, this is an important part of the strat, I think. Parking the archers behind the wood lines and behind the market smart. Dropping towers as well. Like, all hell is about to break loose in his base. It is crazy just how fast this hits you. Scorpions are on top of each other. We've got rams involved, and the villagers are into the rams. And obviously, Phosphoru is not going to really be focused on much else here. It's just going to be on this. We've got 34 villagers for Ozone. We've got 19 here for good old Phosphoru. And the market is going to go down, and the wood is able to be denied from different angles. So Phosphoru is definitely having some resource problems. So I think Phosphoru is feeling some pressure here because you got to get the damage done quickly. And so he really needs to make sure he gets some damage in. Ozone's feeling pressure for very different reasons. And he will know that if he defends from this, if he holds from this, he could probably win. Now, Phosphoru in and out of the ram, actually using the ram to block. He can repair. Meanwhile, the archers and the men-at-arms have kind of moved around a little bit. See, Phosphoru is on straggler trees. Like, Ozone is looking everywhere. It's like, where can I find damage? He's looking. He's done everything he can. That's the thing about this strat. It doesn't really allow you to do much damage. Here we go. Here comes the ram again. There's archers inside of the TC. I actually think that's really smart thinking from Ozone. They will fire arrows, and then his villagers can be working. It will get awkward, though, when he hops out of the TC to attack with villagers. And look at this. Villagers repairing away. Now, that's what I mean. You see how the archers hop out? And then you got to, like, get the archers back in. And, well, he attacked the ram. Ram is now getting repaired again. Meanwhile, we have all the stragglers still being taken. A new market's coming up here for Phosphoru because he needs to buy wood. And... and here we go again. This ram is so important for Phosphoru. He probably wants more, but he's kind of starved for resources. His gold, like, all the villagers are getting chipped away at. The market, too. And still feudal age. 36 villagers here for Ozone. But if a second ram comes, guys, I'm not convinced that he could actually keep this TC up. Like, towers do not do much damage against rams. And he would really have to pull villagers, I think, to take the rams. And the scorpions are going to be here. I mean, these scorpions are doing stuff. They'll slice villagers. And we're going to see a stable now from Ozone, so we can make scouts just make something. He's very distracted at the moment because Phosphoru is here, and Phosphoru is trying to kill. Now, the archers hop out again. Archers doing their thing. Villagers hop out. Villagers repair. Archers back inside the TC. One of the villagers died. Very important. And Ozone keeps trying to kill it. And Phosphoru gets back inside. And you can't actually hit the Vill. Ozone probably clicked it. You can't actually hit the Vill because the Rams block, which is the crazy thing. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Here we go again. Here we go. Here we go. Villagers dying. Scorpions getting hits. Archers going down. Crazy stuff. Villagers still repairing. It's like playing hide and go seek there. And the TC is down, people. The TC is down. Now, meanwhile, like, Phosphoru's been able to come back over to the lumber camp again. He's still taking his gold somewhat. I mean, he still has 18 vills. And look at the massive scorpions he's made. This is ridiculous. This is just insanity. And the important thing to remember, if you're Ozone, as there's actually a couple villagers running here. I don't know if Ozone noticed this. The important thing to remember is you have more vills. That's what you keep telling yourself anyways. It's not going to be the case if villagers continue to go down. Ozone dives underneath the tower here, and now the villagers have to leave. Crazy scenes. The Phosphoru is actually sending his villagers forward anyways. He's already abandoning his base. He's going to go take that sheep for a second. One of the rams just went down. He's got more scorpions on the way. These scorpions have 14 kills. Byzantines do not have any siege bonuses. This is just generic Castle Age scorpions and rams. It is just a sneaky fast castle. And there is now a new TC here from Ozone who's going to add some scouts. So, Phosphoru doesn't really have a base anymore. Which is funny. He does have the scorpions, though. And Phosphoru would maybe need a villager there to repair. Obviously, Phosphoru needs resources so he can repair. Kind of a crazy thing. Like, he doesn't actually even have the wood to build a mining camp anywhere. And Ozone's going to find this vill. Ozone's like, I'll attack you anywhere but here, buddy. I will not deal with this. I will build towers. I will just keep making more vills. I will avoid the death ball for as long as possible. But yeah, like, it's too bad that Phosphoru is in Portuguese because he could get the wood from the berries then. Not having the wood to make a mining camp somewhere is really hurting him. Resources collected still skyrocketing here for Ozone. But again, it kind of tells you, if Phosphoru didn't already know, it kind of tells you, you've got to go get some kills. You just got to get the job done. And what you absolutely cannot do, you absolutely cannot come home with the scorpions. Because if you go home to defend 14 vills, your opponent's going to be at 50 before you know it. So, look at this base. Abandon the main TC, just dropping towers everywhere right now, Ozone. Crazy. He's probably wondering where that big death ball went. He's probably wondering where Phosphoru's eco is. And here's the eco. Still does not have the wood for a lumber camp or a mining camp, by the way. Also seems to be using the scout to see exactly where Ozone is. So, we're about to see a trick here. I don't know how many math whizzes are out there. All right. We're about to see a trick we very rarely see. And I would guess that like 23.7% of you guys don't know this. A lot of people, I say it all the time, a lot of people don't know this. So in Age of Empires, if you have a villager with resources in their hands and you build a mining camp, a lumber camp, a farm, a town center, or I guess a mill, right? Your resources drop off. So like right now, he's in a pinch, right? He's really struggling. He needs to somehow get wood so we can get a lumber camp. Well, watch this. So all of his villagers are going to collect the wood. They're going to get their max wood, 118 wood. He builds a farm, and then bam. He actually got all the wood that was in their hands, and he went up over 100, and now he can make a lumber camp. Phosphoru knew that. And so, you know, he has enough wood for the lumber camp now. Obviously, you know, you probably don't want to use that farm. But yeah, that was actually really smart, really resourceful thinking there, because otherwise he's pretty much screwed. Now, his economy is actually working on wood again, and then he can get some wood and then maybe take some of this gold. So, I mean, he's got options. I would say the concern here, as Ozone is playing this funny little feudal age game now, Ozone's looking for him everywhere, right? Like, Ozone's like, I'm going to park on this gold, I'm going to park on this gold, I'm going to attack his market, I'm looking down here. Yeah, you know, the downside is this is obviously taking Phosphoru some time. And the defenses for Ozone are looking fantastic now. He's collected double the resources this game. And he's back on his farms. He's still making scouts. And while they're not all here right now, he should be in a pretty nice position to work with that. Now, I think Phosphoru just was thinking about mining this gold and then realized his opponent would see it and debated against doing that. Ozone's like, where is this guy? Where is he? Looking all over, attacking the market's really smart. And, well, he finds out. He finds out. He also sees the farm, which would have me very confused. Like, what? Bro, he's farming there? Phosphoru rarely farms. Also, I gotta love this random villager in the TC that's shooting one arrow. Like, that guy is defending the home. And, I mean, that's something. And maybe the market stays up now. So I think at this point, like, Ozone kind of figures that this is where the vills are for Phosphoru. But he's not being rushed. He's got a total of 8 towers. This man is scarred. This is experience. Again, the archers in the towers is such a good play, but it's so rare for high level. And anyways, he's on his way to Castle Age where he could make knights, but he could also upgrade the scouts. I think Ozone knows that his opponent has to be up here now. And well, Phosphoru needs that big play, right? The nice thing for him is Vikings have very weak scouts. They can't get bloodlines, which is really the biggest deal. So you don't have bloodlines against this many scorpions, you could have some real problems. And I really don't think that that's an engagement that Ozone can take when they're clumped up like that. You get knights in the mix, that's a bit different. Light Cav, not so sure. What is nice, though, is keeping Phosphoru on the move. And by the way, what Phosphoru is basically doing here, he's selling stone for gold instead of mining the gold right now. So, okay. It's going to be 2 rams and 8 scorpions for Phosphoru. It took him a long time to get back to this point where he's able to actually make stuff. Still that villager inside of the TC, living his best life. Sorry, a couple scouts engaged there. 2 scouts went down. So, again, could be kind of a problem for Ozone if he continues to engage. He'll be in Castle Age in a moment. He's going to have more stables here, and it seems to me the plan is knights. Wouldn't hate the light cav upgrade as well. Just more is better at this stage. And, well, the GG is actually called. And Phosphoru taps out because I think he knew he was going to get cleared up. So, bit of an interesting one. Obviously, I think the big thing here for Phosphoru in this game was losing the market and the fact that the initial tower didn't actually protect him. Because he had to leave this little bubble because of the amount of pressure there. The tower just wasn't quite good enough. I think if he places a tower here, like maybe right here, you could take this portion of the wood, take most of the gold. But it kind of felt like it just didn't protect everything like he was hoping for. And when he placed the tower, it was because of pressure in a different area. So easy to make that mistake, I guess. And that's what Phosphoru told me. Now, what's funny was... So, like, when I saw the scout, I remember the time. It was like 9:40 or something. Okay. So, I remember Ozone being confused. He's like, what is this guy doing? This doesn't make any sense. What's he doing? Where is he? And then this moment we talked about earlier, there. Sees the scout. I knew it was freaky Phosphoru. I knew. I didn't want to tell Ozone, like, on his chat or whatever, because that would obviously spoil it. I wanted to see how it would play out. So, the game ends. I step away for a bit. I plan on texting Ozone about it later. I get a message from Phosphoru, and he sends me the game. Because he thought this game was good. And I said, so, like, what's the situation? It seems like you're changing your name and whatnot. And he basically was like, well, he feels as though he can get away with random Civ shenanigans if people don't know it's him. If people know it's him, he needs to have a selection of his, like, 6 or 7 Civs. Because, you know, fast castling with no bonuses is kind of, you know, weird. So, anyways, it almost worked here. But again, what was funny is I think he's changed his name like every week at this point. So, you know, he just occasionally will try and get these random games in with the crazy strats. And, you know, I kind of see both sides of it, right? It's not like he's making a new account to beat noobs. He's just changing his name. And he's also not changing his name and doing for the strategy that everyone that kind of knows him for, at least like, you know, the units. He's playing random civilization and it could produce some different games. And yeah, he basically said he has no chance at the high level doing random civ if they know what's coming. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out. I just thought it was a really fun situation, especially just like being able to give you guys the perspective that Ozone had no clue until he saw the Siege Workshops, you know? It was just so funny, and I don't know if we'll have any edits here at the tail end. It might not be possible because it's been so long, but he was just like, where is he? What is he doing? There was so much confusion, and then, well, there were scorpions at his base. Great job from Ozone to expand. Great job to just kind of keep moving around against this strategy and to make it messy there for Phosphoru. And yeah, I'll keep you updated on Phosphoru. Speaking of, a player was inspired by Phosphoru. I've got a video coming out within a week. A high-level player trying a strategy that Phosphoru kind of patented. And yeah, again, we'll talk about that if you keep an eye on the videos. Very big eco lead there for Ozone. That's just kind of the name of the game. Most created units. That's always fun. 9 Scorpions, 3 Rams, and the starting scout. Well played, Phosphoru. You'll get him next time.